Okay, so continuing my robot installation project here in Germany. Had to buy one of these little grinder and had to order that from Amazon because you can't buy it in store. Attachment for the motor Zinze. Zinze is the word for German word for the sickle or the scythe that the Grim Reaper used. So this is the motorized version of the Grim Reaper's tool, according to German's language. Zinze. They call the Grim Reaper the Zinzemann. Usually it's mostly used, like for reaping or cutting grass. But we also had to put this thing on our credit because I keep saying everything here is 3 times as expensive, and we've been trying to buy the cheaper stuff and it just doesn't cut it. Cut everything back in this against the fence. I had cut this by hand back before, but in the time that since I installed this thing, so we got a new puppy and our neighbor dog kept coming over here and messing with us, so we had to build a fence, unfortunately. Anyway, I used the motors into the weed whacker to cut this back best I could, but I still had to go through and cut it by hand because thorns are just evil plant. So this is going to be where my robot is going to go. So using the speaker cable for one side, just because it's cheaper. Probably could have gotten a cheaper robot. I wouldn't have had enough supplies, but this speaker wire is cheaper. It was the exact same robot, a little bit cheaper model, but it might have had different programming. So we had to go to the bigger one that fits with our property, which I kind of think is still not quite big enough because it only does 1,000 meters. So anyway, now I have to go and clean up all the grass that I dealt with. I had cut all this back, but we had an ant colony here. So in Germany, Europe and Germany, it's pretty hard left. Okay, making a video for YouTube. Anyway, so they made a bunch of rules on what you're not allowed to use for herbicide and for insecticide. And we had a guy come out here because part of our house is the old school Fachwerk, the wooden framework built on with stones in between it. So I'll show you real quick. There's a little stray cat that we adopted. Fire department found him. We gave him a home. He bit through my hand at one point because he escaped. I didn't want to get run over by a car. And he had a disagreement about going back in the house and bit a hole in my finger. But since then he's hasn't done that. We're cool now. But anyway, here's the Fachwerk, and here's the old mounting for the light for the Blitzschutz lightning protection, the lightning rods that would go. We still have some of the lightning rods in the basement and in the garage, around the house. That's where the wire would go around the house when it was the grass roof, the reed dock, they say, reed roof. Anyway, here's our 100-year-old, a little bit over 100-year-old wall from the original house, and this window here was in front of it was the kitchen window. We had a drain pipe that went down. Anyway, so the ants came in and they ate through into the house and kind of set up a colony underneath the living room. So I had to take all that out and replace it. Anyway, so yeah, they came out through the old pipe from the kitchen and started eating the Fachwerk. So now I removed some of it and did some repair work already. And anyway, so since insecticides are really highly regulated, and what you get hardly barely works. My whole property has like 10, property I live on, the 10 ant nests, and they're like, I guess 4 square meters wide, every one of them. And this location was one of them. And I have tried to get rid of the colonies, but they come back every year, same place. So anyway, so I'm trying to build a little runway for the robot to come through here. I'm using the motor Zenzo with the brush to clean this back, so I can have a little runway so the robot can get from the back to the front. This was really seriously grown out like 2 meters from my fence that I only put in like a year ago or so. But I can cut this back, and within a couple of weeks it's grown back pretty heavily. But I found a new recipe for some household products like vinegar and salt and some other household chemicals that you can mix, and it works pretty good apparently as a herbicide, plus it's not poison. And so yeah, I'm going to use that, since if you buy anything nowadays in Germany, it's mostly vinegar anyway, so pretty much doing my own homemade version of what is available. And I don't really think it's that much cheaper. Probably is a little bit cheaper. Anyway, this is how far I've gotten on this project. Going from the back to the front now. And yeah, so this is update number 2 on the robot installation, gardening in Europe, Germany project. Such hard work. I think we got the underpowered motor Zenzo because there's a cheaper version, but with how heavy this stuff is growing up, and it's even got roots going through the stones here. Ouch, that's thorns. Ow. Got several points where the roots are just, so like here for example, like the thorns will grow out and then they'll reach a point somewhere and they'll make a root wherever they land. And they do that. It's weird, but the vine will grow out, touch the earth, put roots in that spot, and grow out from there again. So I have several places where this has happened. I gotta squeak this and clean it up here. So, but it's, I mean, this stuff is a serious butt kicker, and it grows so fast. Hopefully, when I get the ingredients for my own herbicide that can mix, then I can get this under control. I kind of doubt it, because since Europe, Germany's so hard left, and they want to control every little thing. I mean, it's good for, yeah, environment, protect the environment, but this place is 100 years old. They've used, I'm sure, everything imaginable here, and it's still growing back. So, plus the cherry trees are growing back and healthy, so it can't be that bad. I don't want to poison the environment either. I just want to live in my garden without it being a jungle, because I just don't have time or energy. I mean, it is like therapy, you know, to work out here and on the garden. It's nice and green and fresh air. You know, can be relaxing if it's not sometimes very frustrating, especially when it's got so hard to keep under control. I mean, this forest of thorns, I don't know where that stuff came from, but when we moved in here a couple of years ago, there were just bushes. There weren't all of these vines, thorn vines. And now in just a short time, it's just taken over. You can barely even see the bushes and trees. All the bushes and hedges. It's just taken over. It's just, oh my gosh. Hopefully my herbicide I'm going to mix will get it under control. I doubt it because it's mostly just vinegar and salt. So, anyway, yeah. Update number 2.